The Stoney Ridge Farmer and I had so much fun riding around his farm that I forgot to do the intro for the pond ram pump installation. So here it is. Today, the Stoney Ridge Farmer and I are going to be installing a 1/2-inch ram pump into his pond and then taking the water up the hill to water the cows. I hope you enjoy this video.
All right, Seth, so what we're gonna do here, we're taking a piece of pressure treated board and we're going to be drilling out a couple holes, and we've made some rebar hooks to drive in to these holes to hold this in position, because the ram pump has a ramming motion to it.
The water hammer effect really hits this hard.
Yep, so it will pull it completely out of the water if we don't mount it up securely, and it still may pull it completely out of the water. So what we're going to do here now, I'll show you how this is going to go, and then we'll just get busy on it. It's going to go on there just like that. There's just 2 straps that go on this board right here. Again, guys, this is not, if this were a permanent setup, we'd be setting this in concrete or something like that. But this is a temporary setup until we get our permanent water set up. And it's cool to show you guys an interesting way to mount up and run a ram pump to water your livestock or your garden or anything. I mean, you can. We could also have a tank up here, and I've thought about doing that. Having a 400-gallon water tank up here, and we just run the ram pump all day long and fill the water tank up, shut the ram pump off, and then let the water tank fill our cattle water. So
yeah, this little 1/2-inch pump can pump over 300 gallons in a day.
Yeah,
so it'll fill that 400 up real quick.
Nice, cool. So we got some holes to drill. I'll get busy.
The style ram pump that's available at Land to House has a horizontal orientation, which means if it flips over like this, water will fill up in the pressure tank and it's just not going to work like it should. And so we have got a treated decking board, and we're going to use some of this plumber's tape to mount this to the board, just using some exterior screws, and that will hold it upright. And it's also going to allow us to lock this down with some rebar. So we've got a couple of pieces of rebar right here with a little crook on it, and we'll just tap that down into the ground and prevent this from jarring around with the hammer effect.
All right, I'm gonna hold this up while Seth sets the screws in. This thing has to be oriented up and down, okay? Seth got us just about enough strap material, plumber's strap material. Wouldn't it be easier to work from this side to get that?
Probably, but then that would be in your shot. Nobody wants to see my back.
So we've got just enough plumber's strap right here to piss you off.
It's like, man, he's stingy, right?
Yeah, like, hey man, you're not getting an inch of my strap. Oh, that works better though. I wouldn't go down too tight. Yeah, you may pop it. There you go.
Yeah, I'm like another inch on the screws.
Yeah,
like
I'm
2
not...
more inches of the.
Yeah,
that's enough.
Hold on, we got to back up here. Seth is a cheapskate.
Man,
we got this much strap material to hold this.
I'm like 50 cents is all you get.
I need him here all the time so we can have fun. He's got the shortest screws that Home Depot sells, and this much strap material. This stuff costs at least $8 for a roll that's 200 feet long.
Hundreds of feet.
Yeah, he's got a piece that big. There is nothing wrong with being frugal. It's intelligent.
Until it makes your project twice as long because you can't get to it.
Yep, exactly. So Seth's job is all done, all mounted up there, and he had the rebar idea, and you had a board already made at the house, right?
Yep, it's sitting there now.
Right, and he didn't want to get any more board than he had to, so he had a piece of board about this long right here. That's what is that, about 8 inches?
Yeah.
8 or 9 inches in man talk. So
well, the main thing is when you do mount a ram pump, you got to get to these unions here, and so if you use too much,
yep,
you just can't get to them.
Yep, so what he's saying here is sometimes this will clog up with trash, and this is a union. You just loosen it up right here, and just like so, and get the trash out. And you make sure you hang on to that little, what do you call that, O-ring?
Yep.
Right? So
without that, this thing doesn't work.
So this will drive down in the ground. Hopefully that's fat enough. Oh, look at that. That's a perfect fit right there.
Now the drive pipe needs to be between 25 and 100 feet. And so we're going to be using a black poly pipe that will sneak from the pond under the culvert tile and come down here to about this location right here.
All right, time to get wet, kids. This is the inlet side where the brass fitting is, right?
Yes, that's the drive pipe.
Drive pipe, okay. We're gonna turn it around. Get right over this. That's the direction we need to go, correct?
Yes.
Okay, fairly level, straight. We'll drive our rebar. The reason I put a hook on the end of the rebar is in case I need to take this back up. Which again, this is a fairly temporary setup anyway.
Oh yeah, much better after it's warmed up.
Yep. And there's the key. I'm gonna run this along the fence line.
All right.
We'll take this to the tank. Okay, we're gonna put the coupling in between the two pieces of poly. Easy way to put the coupling on. You need it to be warm. Sometimes people even heat the pipe, right? But the pipe is warm enough. It's about 85 degrees. That's what my temperature gauge says. So we pressed it all the way up on there. When we put our clamps on, we want to make sure each clamp is facing the same way, so it's not a pain in the butt to take it apart. Now to our trusty Klein 11-in-1 screwdriver. Awesome. We don't have to use a screwdriver, we can just use the 11-in-1.
We're going to be pulling water from a pond, which means we have to have a filtered intake. And we're just going to be using this 1.25 inch piece of pipe that is about 2.5 foot long. We're going to drill a whole bunch of holes in here and then put window screen on top, and it will give us a nice surface area for water to be pulled in and still catch that fine debris that may end up clogging the pump later. So that's going to be our pond intake.
Boy, this pipe's made of bionic material. There we go. Oh, look at that. Ruined.
A nice big hole in that one.
What is this stuff made out of? Peanut brittle? Now. So according to popular YouTube opinions, Seth doesn't know how to put Teflon tape on fittings. So I showed him how to do that just now. Are we pretty good with that now?
Yeah. Don't ask me, I'm not very good. I've only done it a few thousand times.
Yeah. So what we have here is a Dare float valve. And all it is, there's a little piece of foam inside here that floats, and we're gonna put it on this 170-gallon stock tank. First, I've got to press this together, and it's still a little chilly out here. Vanna, thank you, Vanna. We'll put this hose clamp on here. Seth has the zip ties in his hand, and I have an awesome tool, a zip tie gun that you guys, I wouldn't call it a gun, don't want to call it a gun, a zip tie tool. I
now have to put awesome. A bleep right there to keep that.
You're gonna have to bleep that out, yep. Well, you call a grease gun, right?
More bleeps.
Yeah, more bleeps.
Let's call it a zip tie applicator.
A zip tie application tool.
Where did that go anyway?
It's back here in the back. Way back in here, it's in a safe area right there. This is a zip tie application tool, and you basically put a zip tie in right there, squeeze it, and it cuts it. It's pretty awesome. We'll use it in a second. So here we are with our Dare float valve. Dare to say that it works just fine and the cows don't hurt it. We're putting this right here on the corner of the fence. The fence is really tight right here and well supported. This is going to be what we call a high impact area on the farm, because all the cows will kind of wedge themselves in here and they'll be up against the fence a lot. So this will be a high traffic, high impact area, and the fence is tornado wire. This is a tornado wire, Titan fixed knot, high tensile woven wire fence, and it is tight. Wherever this tank is where it's going to be, because it's going to have 170 gallons of water. So we want to make sure we've got it in the place that we want it. We're going to take our zip tie applicator and a zip tie, Vanna, thank you, and we're just going to zip tie this guy on right here. I ideally, I'm probably going to come back here and I'm going to put a T right here or an elbow right here. So for now, we're just going to zip tie her on just to hold it in place so the cows don't take the pipe off into the middle of the field and chew on it. And cows will chew stuff up. So this is a zip tie tool. Come on in closer. You take your zip tie, you put it in there. It's kind of hard to do without looking at it. Take your zip tie, put it in there just like that. Boom, done. Tightens it, snugs it up, and gets it right where you need it to be.
Also cuts the end off.
Cuts the end off. We're gonna go down here. We'll do another zip tie, Vanna. Thank you. And we'll just go down here just to show you. We'll zip tie again on the top of the fence right here. We're really banking on the setup working up to this height. So just squeeze it tight with the zip tie cutter. Boom. And it holds your zip tie. All right, send her in.
All right, pipe's coming in.
Well, this thing's
It already hit a snag.
Yep, you got a splice right there.
All right, trying it again.
Come on in. There you go, you got by it.
All right.
Look at there, here comes the pipe. There's a little hump inside this pipe. No, wait, that's just me sitting on top of it. All right, I got it.
All right.
I got it. Feed me a little more, Seymour. Hang on. You may want to set a rock on it. Might squish it.
So we've got the 1/2-inch poly pipe through the culvert into the pond. We're going to go ahead and get the pipe connected to the pump so that we know the length we need. And the excess we will be cutting off to connect the last little bit we needed from here to the pump for delivery pipe. Now whenever you're using this black poly pipe, it's really important to prevent it from bouncing around with the water hammer effect. So either putting some rocks on it or using some kind of anchor to keep that in place will significantly increase your efficiency of the pump.
So what we have here, Seth was kind enough to do the hole drilling since we had too big of a bit on the drill and we busted the pipe earlier. There's a piece of broken pipe in here. I got a little too aggressive. Seth drilled the holes. This is going to be our filter, and we came up with a pretty cool system. This is a rope that is rated for marine applications, and these are marine floats. Okay, this is a typical float that you might see around a swimming area or something like that at the lake, and we found this bracket. This is a copper bracket, and we put that bracket in on the end of this what do you call that?
Pipe barb.
Pipe barb, yeah. So it's in there, it's settled, it's ready to go. I've got one more zip tie to do, and I'm gonna do a little demonstration over on my channel since you guys get all the fun stuff. But this is gonna be designed to float in the water, and we want our inlet to be somewhere between 12, 16, 18 inches down. So this right here will probably just be off of the ground inside the pond, and this will be floating, okay? And what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this piece of pipe, this is a fence post that was a little bit bent, it hit a rock beforehand. We're gonna take it out in the pond. I'm gonna go get wet. I'm gonna throw on the waders, jump out in the pond, and drive that post down, and then we're gonna loop this over top of the post so it never goes anywhere and it's always out there, and hopefully we have a maintenance-free setup. So the ST, Team Seth Josh, is gonna wrap this. So what I have here, this is what you might put in the eaves of your house to keep bats out or to keep bugs out. We're gonna use this as a filter system for the inlet right here. So I'm gonna kind of get it wrapped in there tight. Seth is gonna hold it. This is so much easier with, maybe it's gonna be easier with two people.
Or just that much more awkward.
Or that much more awkward. There we go. There we go. You got it?
Yep.
Hold her tight. Yep. There we go. We were smart. We brought scissors, because this stuff's easier to cut with scissors than it is with your teeth.
Learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Ask me how I know. All right. Easiest way to do this, hold it on one end and then just kind of snug it up on that filter. All right.
So the main reason for doing this is if that second valve gets anything in it and holds the valve open,
yeah,
the whole pump loses pressure.
Gotcha.
So it's got to have debris catchment.
Gotcha. That's all this is. Debris catchment device. All right, so I'm following the instructions of Seth, as Seth is doing the filming a little bit here, we're going to take our 1/2-inch poly pipe. This is going to be our intake, so I'm going to push that in there as tight as I can get it. I think last time we did this, we didn't even use hose clamps, did we?
No, it was so cold.
That's why it
too.
came apart. Yeah, it was freezing cold. I'm going to get a little bit wet here. This is the intake. What do you call it? The inlet? Intake?
Drive pipe.
What? Drive pipe.
Yep.
Drive pipe. Terminology. It's important. Before we put the outlet or
Delivery pipe on, I got to get in the pond. So let's go get in the pond.
All right, here we go. I hope that thing's recording. It feels kind of, it's like, I don't know how to describe this. It's kind of mushy. It's squinty. See how the water is fairly shallow all the way out. So about, well, there's a rock there. So about there. Yeah, it's a little deeper right there. So I've got to get the post driver over top of the post. I think we need to go out further. Somebody's gonna. That's perfect right there. There is a leak, apparently. Here we go. Cell phone's out of my pocket, don't count. Really love these cows, dude.
I can tell.
Okay. All right. One more post driver.
Well, of course, we didn't have to install that in the pond.
No. I think we got it going on here. Snug this guy down. This is a low pressure anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. We're going to loop this right over top of our post. And it's off the ground. Is the pipe sinking?
Yep, it's submerged now. Hey, one trick that I've learned while doing this,
Yeah.
keep one hand on the ball valve,
And turn it off and take a break.
Turn it off, breathe,
Yeah.
and then
Seth, you're telling me tricks after he's telling me, he said, you know, I've learned a lot by doing this. Just turn the ball valve on and off instead of holding it with your tongue. This is work too.
yeah, it is.
I got water.
How's it taste?
Yeah. My siphoner is a lot more than, I'll tell you about the pneumonia tomorrow. Okay, any air could cause a hiccup and cause the ram pump to not work. So we want it to be smooth, just like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna hook up to the ram pump, right?
Yep, that's right.
I want our valve to be in the up position if possible. And
You can always close your valve if you don't want it to spray in your face.
yeah, this valve?
Yep, that's the one.
That one. All right. All right.
Well, so what's going to happen first is the delivery pipe is going to start filling up to match the pond level.
Okay.
And after that's done, then we'll be ready to start pushing the waste valve. So whenever we start the pump, there has to be enough water in the delivery pipe going up the hill, or the pump won't work. So I'm going to be pushing the waste valve down several times, and it's going to put some water going uphill until we have enough pushing back down on the pump that it will cycle on its own. Depending on how much lift you have, this may take anywhere from a couple clicks to several. After some time, we've managed to get the pump running nicely. Let me show you a few things that could be done to prevent the issue we were having. We believe that an air pocket was trapped in the drive pipe. And to eliminate that, there are a couple things we can do. Notice how the drive pipe is coming through the culvert, which is the highest point of the whole setup. And then it comes over here into the pond. If you watch the drive pipe right about where my shadow is, you'll see ripples coming off of that. The whole pipe is kind of snaking around in the water with each cycle. That is a huge efficiency loss that's happening. So if we were to take this same pipe and siphon water from here through the culvert and have a little bucket catchment set up right over here, it would always siphon water into that bucket, and then you could use that as your new source going down to the pump, so that it always had downhill from that point. Because currently we have got the culvert that is a high spot and a potential air trapment. And then also we'll be able to lock down this pipe in that whole distance here using either rocks or some kind of other fasteners. And that would greatly improve the efficiency. Whenever you're down pushing the waste valve, you can also come up the hill and tap. So that right there has water in it. And you can just keep moving up to see at what level you have water. So we've got water right here, but none here. So we are getting close. About right there. Now we're here. So with each cycle of the pump, it's going a little bit further. So we're right there now. It's pretty good timing.
Seth is the water whisperer. Look at him. He's whispering the pipe up here. He's like, it's almost there.
Yep. We're at this point right here.
Yep.
And climbing.
Bunched up around the water tank. They like to hang by the water trough. I don't know why. You guys tell me. Post a comment down there. But we should have water trickling out of this thing, and it's a low flow system, so it's probably going to pump about 300 gallons a day, something like that. Enough to keep this thing full, and we already have a water system in place over there. So that's awesome. This is so cool, dude. It's getting ready to come out.
Yep, we're about 5 feet away.
Give it to me.
Won't be long now, right?
Nope, not long.
Yeah! That looks pitiful, doesn't it?
It'll increase a little bit more.
Awesome.
The pump's been running now for about 10 minutes, and you can see how much water is now in the bottom of this tank. Now we did use a float valve. Let's see if I can get you a close-up of that. So as the tank fills, it will close this off and stop the pump, and when it opens back up, it will continue to fill. Now the ram pump will continue to pump down in the creek even though the delivery pipe has been closed off.
Dude, do I need to get back in the pond or not? Permission to put shoes on.
Yes, please do.
It feels kind of nice walking around out here in these footies, man. It's comfortable. I feel good.
You found your new YouTube farm outfit?
Yeah, this might be my new YouTube Farmer Josh outfit. Seth, thanks so much for coming out here to the farm, man. I have totally enjoyed it. Today's been real fun. Always a special day having Seth. Seth stayed the night last night. We watched a few movies he'd never seen. He'd never seen Sling Blade. If you guys had never seen Sling Blade, go watch it. Don't watch it with your kids though. It's a good movie.
It's a non-kid kind of film.
Yep.
Well, it's been fun.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me out here.
Glad to have you. Air shake, COVID shake. Whoa.
We're 6 feet apart right now. It's
totally just, 6 feet
The camera
apart.
throws it off.
Yeah, see, my arm is,
See, 6 feet.
Yep.
All right, if you want to check out the Stoney Ridge Farm channel, I have a link in the description down below. You've probably heard of his channel way before you heard of mine, but in case you've missed it, go check it out. He's got a whole bunch of really awesome farm videos and much more.
Yeah, so we're building a first-generation farm here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. He lives in the mountains of the Blue Ridge Mountains, so yeah.
I look down on him and say, yep, see what you're doing down there.
We've been working our butts off. That's what we've been doing. It's awesome.
Yep. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
See y'all.
Bye.